In this session, we will cover the Blackwell MT4 Accelerator. Forex and CFDs are leveraged products and involve a high level of risk and can result in the loss of all your invested capital. Therefore, Forex and CFDs may not be suitable for all investors. You should not risk more than you are prepared to lose. Before deciding to trade, please ensure you understand the risks involved and take into account your level of experience. Seek independent advice if necessary.
Hello traders, it's Paul Wallace here. I'm joined by my colleague and friend Multi Cobb. Hello Multi.
Hello traders, thanks for having me here.
Hi. Well, with the recent launch of the new Blackwell Global website, we're also going to be delivering and offering some fantastic new tools for our trader clients. And one of the ones we're going to talk about today is MT4 Accelerator. We've got a few of those to share with you. You'll be able to find them under the Trading Tools tab on the new website. So Malta's going to help me here. He's going to provide us his insight and wisdom about about these particular tools, so that you're in a position to know what we can do to help you. So
yes, sure. Let's do that. Some really exciting additions to the suite of tools already available to Blackwell traders. And what the challenge we hear from a lot of traders is that MT4 as a platform is really great to do the trading, to do some back testing and so forth, but it also comes with some inherent not, I wouldn't say weaknesses, but it could be better in some bits and pieces. And I think this suite of tools addresses these kind of main weaknesses. And what I suggest, if you're interested, I would walk you through the additions here one by one.
Excellent. No, fantastic. You're absolutely right. MT4 is quite it's a ubiquitous platform. It's pretty robust and reliable. But I think anybody who's traded through it knows that like any platform, there can be additions that can help develop and sort of enable traders to get more out of the platform itself. So and it's one of the strengths of it, that you can add in all these fantastic tools, EAs, etc. And so yeah, let's see what surprises we have in store.
Yeah, sure. And before we go into the actual tools, what you need to install them onto your MetaTrader 4 version from Blackwell is you need an email with a link from your Blackwell account manager, download an exe file, which will then automatically populate the tools, and you can find them by best thing is probably to close MetaTrader and open it again. It will refresh the data. You can find them by going to the navigator section or typing Control-N on your MetaTrader and go to the Expert Advisor section. If you click on that little diagram here, it will show you all the tools that are available now. You can see they range from Alarm Manager all the way down to Trade Terminal.
Excellent. Well, there's a whole host of those tools there that we can use to help us and support us in our trading and trade decisions. So where should we start, Multi?
Let's start from the top. I think Alarm Manager sounds quite intriguing, doesn't it? The way it works, and that's how it works with all these expert advisors, is that you just once you have them there, you click and just drag them and drop them onto a chart. I've prepared a chart here on the right, and it just kind of start from the beginning. I click on the Blackwell Alarm Manager and hold the left mouse button, click, then drag it onto the chart, release the button, and it gives me under this common tab a couple of selections. In order for this to work, you need to allow this to import information into MetaTrader and into the Expert Advisor. This is a kind of a security step that MetaTrader has put in place, rightly so. So you need to allow DLL imports, and you need to also allow for live trading. And as always, recommend you start using that on a demo account to understand how it's actually working. You can see that it's if you click on About, it should say Blackwell and the name of the tool, just to confirm that we're talking about the right tool. And on dependencies, you see some kind of technical DLL parameters, and I would suggest you don't change those. And all what you then need to do is click on OK.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And look what it does. It then opens this box with account alarms, news alarms, price alarms, trade activity alarms. Why? Because you probably came across that as well also with the students you're working with. Sometimes, with all the positive intent you have in your trading, maybe you have a daily limit of 3, 5, 10% of your account as a disaster limit, right? But you don't really have a structured way to get yourself reminded of that you had hit that limit.
Absolutely. So this is what one of the alarms that allows us to help a new trader manage that. I see there also there's an opportunity to switch on for sort of 3 consecutive losses as well. What's is that what I think it's implying?
Yeah, it's exactly what it says on the tin. You just move the slider to the right, and it will give you an alert once you hit 3 consecutive losses. Why? Because we know that people who have incurred consecutive losses are more inclined to start to do something that we call revenge trading, right? So they increase their position size and load a lot of risk onto their trading strategies. And I think this is designed to prevent from these kind of disaster scenarios happening.
Absolutely, that's excellent. With the best will in the world, sometimes we all have a bit of a bad day at the office, and sometimes it's good to have a little alarm just to remind us to go and take a walk around the block instead. So that's great to see that's there and available, and I'd certainly recommend for new traders make yourself avail of that. So I see there's an element there on the economic calendar as well. How is that going to help us?
Yeah, this is also integrated with an economic calendar, and you could set yourselves alarms. It has happened to many traders I know that they kind of geared up for the trading day, and they've missed a pretty important ECB announcement or like a FOMC meeting, something like that. So you can make sure that you get your personal alarm well ahead, all the way down to price alarms when the market hits certain levels, and that these are maybe the levels you're interested in from a trading perspective. You get an alarm, you get the heads up, right? And trading activity, maybe just to show you how rich the tool is. Trading activity gives you an enormous depth in terms of setting alarms, in terms of just looking at the account, but also looking at what time of the day we are at a certain market, or again, what kind of sentiment we have, and I can show you in more detail in a moment, and sentiment indicator that has been created as part of the tool. So I'd say a quite powerful selection of alarms to make sure that we can focus on executing the plan.
That's excellent. I think it's fantastic that they have the economic calendar on there. I think that's a great tool for intraday traders, right? To be aware of when certainly major sort of tier 1 news is coming out, because it'll just effectively keep you out of trouble. Make sure there's nothing worse than carrying into a position into a tier 1 news without being aware of it. That can lead to a rather anxious few moments. So that's an excellent tool.
Let's go down the list, because we have a lot of content to go through, guys, and that's also why I probably don't have any time today to respond directly to questions, but I'm sure the very knowledgeable people from the Blackwell team are on hand to answer those in the chat.
Absolutely, yeah. The customer support guys are, they're available here to help you. Okay, and not only during this webinar, but afterwards as well. So if you ever have any challenges with being able to sort of download and connect, and then get in touch with your account representative, and they'll be happy to support you. Make sure it's up and running and working on your Blackwell Global account. Yeah,
and on the point I made earlier about traders really wanting to have integrated information in their MetaTrader platform from a news perspective, I hear that time over time again that I've been kind of missing this announcement, and I was working on a scalping strategy, but I got knocked out of the market because suddenly there was this news announcement and it completely took me by surprise. How could I miss that, right? And the Blackwell Connect tool is part of the suite of tools here. Does a really good job at picking up different news feeds. So you can customize it. I'm happy to walk you through that. Customize it in a way where you can say, look, there's a specific news feed that I want to add from, for example, from Reuters or from other sources. And you can just add selected feeds. Here you can filter for specific financial instruments.
Fantastic.
So if you're a currency trader, you can say, look, I only want to have a look at Euro USD information. I'm not interested what's going on in the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. So you filter out a lot of noise, which is quite powerful. And you can add, there are some pre-populated feeds available, but you can also find the feeds that you're familiar with and you like, and bring them all together into one place.
That's an excellent little tool. It's actually never the case that there's not enough information. If anything, we tend to get overwhelmed with information. So being able to just focus on a few feeds that are relevant to your own particular trades, your own ideas, or your own particular instruments, that's excellent. That provides a real great focus.
And now I've talked to a lot of your students, and they like kind of your line of thinking around analysis, paralysis, right? And I think this is a great way to filter out information that is relevant to you. The economic calendar, again, important for everybody who sets up for the trading day, and I'm sure that's part of your preparation for the trading day as well, isn't it? To look
Absolutely.
at what are the big news events, and we can filter for just the high impact events on a specific currency, for example, and you only focus on what matters for your trading.
That's excellent. That's excellent, and it should be part of any trader's routine. Almost one of the first things they do before they even place a single trade is that they're aware of what specific news is coming out relevant, especially if it's relevant to the particular instrument you're trading. So That's great to have that there really at your fingertips.
I'd say that's more, but in the interest of time, let's press on with correlation matrix. And again, all I do is just click the mouse button and drag and drop it onto the chart. Oops. Okie dokie. So the way this works is, again, I think it's very, very intuitive, and lots of traders I've been talking to, and surely you as well, are interested to understand what kind of correlations do we have right now. And when I hear many traders say, I don't have access to a Bloomberg terminal or a Reuters Icon terminal, I can't get that information.
That's right. If you have the wherewithal to have yourself a Bloomberg terminal on your desk, then fair play to you. But for the rest of us mere mortals, actually, we're a little bereft of that insight. So so this looks like it's a tool that could help most of us traders. What have we got on display here?
So what a lot of traders are looking for is, especially the trend following traders, is, let's say in currencies, they're looking for the one currency that is really weak versus the one currency that is really strong, to identify potential pairs for trend trades, right?
Okay.
So that is an application. So what does this tool do in line of that thinking is you can list different asset classes or different financial instruments. Like here we have gold, we have silver, we have different currency pairs. You can obviously pick and choose whatever you think is appropriate. Let's just add US dollar into that list, and then it just adds it here to the bottom, right? So I could expand this a little bit to get everything on the chart. And then you can see that there seems to be a pretty high correlation between Euro US dollar and in terms of currency pairs, the Australian dollar, the Japanese yen right now, and really low correlation with the Euro US dollar and the Canadian dollar. I think that gives you a really good, strong heat map, right? And again, you can customize it to your specific needs, how these correlations play out.
Yeah, that's a interesting insight there, isn't it? That seeing the correlations between particular FX pairs, but also you have the opportunity to add in things like gold and silver as well. So
right.
Certainly for those traders who are, let's say, more focused on trading commodities, it might be interesting to see how those correlate with certain specific pairs. So for example, gold traders are always interested in what's happening with the Aussie dollar. So invariably get an opportunity to see exactly how closely their movements are correlated.
That's right, and people obviously are interested in doing some multi-time frame analysis. So you can change the time frame you do the analysis on, just to see if you can get confirmation over different time frames. Also, when people who use standard moving averages are very familiar, surely, with 200-day moving average. So they want to see maybe on a daily 200 bars are we correlating? What kind of correlations are strong? What kind of correlations are weak? And you can also, to make sure, again, in the spirit of filtering out noise, you can only highlight the correlations that exceed a certain level, and that highlighted here as red, and kind of gray the others out. I think it's taking a little bit because it's pulling in quite a lot of data, but that is what this is supposed to do. And you can also then quickly look at a combination of trade if you have a kind of a specific correlation that you're interested in, and very quickly move from analysis to execution mode.
Excellent. As you say, it's a very useful, very quick heat map to be able to give you some quick insight.
Yep. So now I changed it to a different time frame, and it has filtered out everything that was kind of strong or weak. Some people want to see kind of emerging correlations and or kind of correlations fading away. So that's why the rest is blacked out here, and you see these clusters where we have stronger correlations versus weaker correlations. Next step would be, as I said, how to trade that, right? If we move a correlation trader on to the chart. So what I prepared for you is the Euro US dollar versus the GBP US dollar. As we all know, they are typically quite correlated, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. As effectively, they're majors against the US dollar, so there will be an element of correlation.
That's right. And I think recently what we've seen a bit of a break in the correlation, and it's coming back and it's going to fall. So I think this allows you to see, have we strongly correlated, yes or no, or do we have a strong correlation, yes or no? Because if the correlation is very weak, think about risk clustering in your strategy. If you're going Euro US dollar long and GBP US dollar long in an environment where they are quite heavily correlated, you basically two positions US dollar short, right?
Exactly.
So that gives you immediate visibility and helps you avoid risk clustering.
Yes.
Or if you want to exploit it, you can actually identify kind of the biggest opportunities there from a correlation point of view, and immediately turn that into an order with a stop loss and a take profit, and put that into the market or into the order book.
Yeah, fantastic. That's it's good to know, and certainly for experienced traders like ourselves, Marty, we'd know and understand natural correlations between euro dollar and dollar Swiss franc, for example. But if you can understand, if you're a new trader, maybe trying to understand and trying to get to grasp and understand these correlations, then this is a great tool. Firstly, to actually see it, and then be able to have a visual representation of how close or not that correlation may be. And it's one of the interesting points is that when you're looking at instruments that are correlated closely, well, then invariably it's when there is a breakdown in those correlations, because there always is at some point.
Yeah.
Then that in itself provides an opportunity for traders if you're suitably prepared and educated and ready to act.
Yeah, a real a good way to level the playing field with the pros here. So the next one is quite unique, XLRTD. So we're getting, probably that's the most sophisticated one, but I think definitely one of the most impressive tools on that list. So what XLRTD does, I link it to the chart. So it allows you a couple of things to do. So here what I have is the number you see here is the account number.
Yep.
And basically what this thing now creates is a dynamic links into Microsoft Excel.
All right.
So a lot of people struggle to automate trading strategies or do the analysis on the chart, and they're just very familiar with Excel for many, many years. But there never has been a proper link between MetaTrader and Excel. So what you can do now is, and I've done that just before we started this session, I have linked the MetaTrader to the tool, and now all I can just show you how it works. I think this is probably a session in its own right.
Yes.
All you need to do is you need to select this formula RTD, and then you link it to the tool account number, and I said, please show me the equity, right? And it shows the equity in this account. In this case, let me make it a bit bigger. It's 10,000. And I did the same thing. I just changed the formula a little bit and said, show me the bid in GBP USD, and it shows me the latest bid there. And just if I change that to euro US dollar, look, it brings up the feed from the euro US dollar. And you can do all sorts of analysis. You can imagine that there are a lot of commands available. Like you can look at the highs and the lows, different time frames and so forth. You can even trade through this if you want to trigger a trade. So that takes it to, if you're familiar with Visual Basic, for example, that is very popular with many people in Excel, you can take it to that next level.
Absolutely, this provides, especially people who like to use VBA code, okay, in their trading or in building their own models. That it's a fantastic sort of bridge almost between them both. So as you say, it's probably an entire session in itself to be able to just sort of get the most out of that particular tool.
But the headline here is if you know Excel inside out and you struggle to use it for your trading, here's the solution.
Excellent.
What else do we have? We have a market manager, equally exciting tool. Let me add this to the chart here. And the market manager, I think that's very simple. So I'm maximizing this on the screen for everybody to see. So basically what it does, it shows you each of the financial instruments, and you can kind of pick and choose here also from the top of the list and kind of reorder that list. And you can see the trading volume you've done in Euro GBP, or you can see the profit or the loss that you've incurred in a specific financial instrument. So you can see all the symbols. That gives you also a list of the open tickets. It even gives you ability to modify existing positions and pending orders. And finally, an overview of a recent price movements on a symbol over multiple time frames, if you wish. So quite powerful, nifty tool.
That's right. So it's just giving a little bit of a clearer insight into effectively your own positions, your own trading, and just all in one very simple, all in one sort of simple place to look at.
Exactly. Let's move on in the interest of time. I think we're halfway through now. So the mini terminal. The mini terminal should be very familiar to a lot of traders. I've seen that actually on a lot of platforms, and it's extremely popular because it gives you this easy dashboard to execute a trade. And if we go through the components here, what do we have? This is position size. Lots is one lot is 100,000 of a currency. In this case, USD JPY, it would be 100,000 Japanese yen we're trading in, and that's important obviously when you calculate the margin requirements. You can add a stop loss or take profit.
Super.
And then basically you can click on sell at the market or buy at the market as well if you want to just quickly go in. If you're a news trader, if you're happy with the level the market is at, you can do that as well. That's
excellent. I think that as we said, MT4 is a fine platform, but perhaps one of its weaknesses was its trade execution is a little clunky. Let's be fair. Technology has moved on, and so the ability to have something like this, a mini table that just makes it a little easier and swifter to be able to sort of trade easily. Yep. That's a great tool for traders to have access to,
especially when you going in and out of a market very often. If you have a lot of scalping strategies going on, you don't want to have like multiple clicks and multiple platforms to execute a trade. You want to be fast. You want to have everything at your fingertips, visibility into spread and so forth. So that's what this tool does.
Excellent.
The sentiment trader, I think there's been a lot of talk about the sentiment trader, and here it is. They can unveil how it actually works for Blackwell traders. It is quite fascinating tool. So the sentiment trader gives you an insight, and not just looking at Blackwell, right? Looking at a much larger community, gives you an insight how that community is positioned in terms of being bullish or being bearish on the other side.
Okay.
So the higher the bar is on the blue side, and the more percentage points you have here on the blue side, the more bullish the community is, and vice versa, right? So you can play around with that, and let's find something that is kind of leaning more towards one direction. So New Zealand dollar, US dollar. It looks like we have a community that that is actually that has been we have had a move to the upside, but it actually is it is geared towards more towards a bullish side here. So what is that? We have a strong side here on the bullish side, right? And a weaker side here on the bearish sentiment, probably reflected by that move up. Maybe that would be an opportunity to switch the colors here, but I think that's what's trying to articulate.
Oh, I think it's certainly let's say private traders at home on their own, the only sentiment they get to understand is their own. So actually being able to tap into, as you say, the sort of the entire sentiment of a community and be able to use that information to help them with either their trading decisions or to build a picture about where sentiment or confidence lies is probably gives them a good help, good insight.
And my suggestion would be, obviously not giving any trading advice here, never use sentiment kind of as a single indicator. I think it's an interesting concept to confirm, something, your system, your beliefs, objectively confirm or invalidate if that's the case. The environment where your trading strategy maybe should be deactivated, or the other thing. But the main point here is that as information has been really hard to generate, especially from different sources, and just looking at kind of a view from one broker. So that's why I think the sentiment analysis is becoming more and more popular and relevant. And it's still fairly new for traders.
Yes, it is.
So that could turn into an advantage for our clients of Blackwell. The session map, well, that doesn't require a lot of explanation, to be quite honest, but many traders who are new to this business, I think sometimes overlook the fact that currency markets are being traded around the clock, right?
Yes.
And where do they start on Sunday night in kind of European time? They start in Auckland, probably in New Zealand, when it's 8 o'clock Auckland time. And they finish late on Friday evening our time. So we're based in Europe, in San Francisco or Hawaii, somewhere.
That's right.
So I suppose what I was always telling my students is it's important to know who's your competition and who is in front of their computers and at their trading stations, really trading heavily, trying to get your money. And the session map gives you an idea where we are right now in terms of where's the kind of who has the book. The book is being handed over from Asia at some point to Europe, at some point to the US, and that helps you to determine what are the times of great volatility. I think a lot of people like to trade the opens, right?
That's correct, yes.
That's correct. Gives you some pointers to make sure that you don't miss that.
Absolutely, and I think wherever you may find yourself, certainly in the modern. It's not uncommon for modern sort of digital nomads, I think they call them, people who are travelling the world, that wherever they are, they can open up their laptop and trade markets. So they want to understand where they are and who, as you say, who's in control of that session. And it's useful for, let's say, new traders to know that especially within the FX markets, you should be focusing on the let's say the currencies that are relevant to that particular session. So when the London European session is open, well, not surprisingly, Euro sterling traders, there's going to be a lot of activity in there because the vast majority of traders acting in that are European traders, and so it works. On the opposite side of that, if in the London session trying to trade something like Australian dollar against Japanese yen, well, the main protagonists in there are safely and soundly in their bed after having finished their trading day, and vice versa. If you find yourself in, as you say, in places like Auckland or Sydney, then trading Aussie yen would be a great choice, but perhaps trading euro sterling not so much. So this would hopefully give you an understanding of where you are in the world and who's running the book and where the let's say the majority of the trading action is likely to be found. That's right. And the next one is actually quite cheeky in a way. It's called stealth orders. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? It does. And I think you're a man of the army and the military, so that must pique your excitement. What is a stealth order? Yeah, it's like the stealth fighter of trading.
Look, what this does is it gives you the ability to log orders. Just to kind of use this example, to log orders in the system and make sure that these orders are not visible to the brokers.
Right, okay.
Right, and I know a lot of people are concerned sometimes about showing their hand to the
Yes.
broker.
Yep.
And this, for the first time, I've not seen that anywhere else, gives you the ability to retain that information. Obviously, your computer as always needs to be connected to the internet to be able to analyze the trading feed, but you retain that information when you want to show your hand, and you basically only you only show it in the last second.
Okay, but certainly that's the sort of a tool that normally would only have been available to institutional or proprietary house traders, and so that's something completely new that's now available to, let's say, private and retail traders. So it's that's certainly something that's new and as you say, perhaps just a little bit cheeky.
Yeah, and it should also instill, hopefully, I don't have any positions open yet, it should also instill confidence in kind of in the traders that Blackwell is not doing anything funny in the background, right? They can hide their exits, basically. I was hearing that over and over and over again over the years, that people are concerned that the broker knows my exit, right? And they try to run the exit and trigger that. I think that's a debate to be had if that's right. But even if there's a slightest suspicion from the trader, a way to prevent that is just not to show your exit. But it would be foolish, to my understanding, not to trade with a stop loss.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I think there will be certain people who in the past have tried to get around that, let's say, that concern with by using mental stop losses. But the problem with mental stop losses is that the failure in the system is you, the human being, and something happens, you're distracted, you're drawn away, and that mental stop loss gets forgotten about.
That's right.
None of us are infallible. So to be able to have that on the system, you have your orders, your exits. Your exits, is important and should actually give you a little bit of peace of mind as as you trade those markets.
That's right. And without giving a trade recommendation here, I think a scenario that can work for a trader is that you put in what I'd call a disaster stop, right?
Yes.
And it's not actually where you would set your stop loss. This is like everything has gone wrong, and I want to kind of pull the safety line here, and I don't want to exceed that loss. But you really have, through a stealth exit, you have your exit in the system, and it will be executed at the right price. Without showing it to the broker. I think for a lot of people that probably addresses a key challenge that they only always saw in the market. And hey, Blackwell is happy to provide that solution to their clients.
Excellent.
All right, 2 more to go. And I think I don't have a live feed. That's why I can't show you the tick chart trader in action. But conceptually, I can show you how it works. Because again, if there's interested in showing that in more detail, we're happy to do that. So basically what MetaTrader probably is really bad at is when you go down to the tick level, literally, right, to the tick level, to the 1 minute chart, it's really hard sometimes to see what's happening. And basically what this tick chart trader does, it's like a magnifying glass for every new price that comes in, to give you the opportunity, if you're a scalper, right, give you an opportunity to magnify that part of the trading and execute your trading strategy accordingly.
Certainly there are quite a lot of traders out there who like to want to trade down at let's call it that kind of level and that speed, and believe that's where their particular edge is. But so being able to do that properly through MT4 has been a weakness in the past, and so this looks like it addresses that multi.
That's right, and I know a lot of traders who like simple Bollinger Band strategies on the tick chart and see when the market contracts and when it expands, and then design a trading strategy around that. Again, without giving any recommendation here, I think what they've always been lacking is a tool that again gives them that opportunity to magnify the trading opportunities.
Super.
And let's land on Trade Terminal. I think I've already prepared that here. So the Trade Terminal is a powerful dashboard that brings everything together into one place that you need to know. It shows you the different financial instruments that you can trade, and you can add and remove. Obviously, you can add and remove the different financial instruments here. If you want to trade, you can do immediately so. If you want to put in an order, you can do that on this platform as well. It gives you an overview of the actual open and pending orders. And on the right-hand side, it shows you the account balance, open P&L, and so forth. I think that's something that I've seen more in professional platforms as a dashboard that a risk manager would look at, or if you want to take that step back and analyze the performance of your trade portfolio. I think this is a tool that I have not seen so far integrated in MetaTrader.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit like the sort of the mini terminal that we looked at just before. Is just this of course gives you the entire sort of what would you call that? Almost like a deal desk with all of your instruments there, with able to sort of access them and trade them with a lot easier. The sort of functionality and the sort of it's much more user friendly than the existing setup within MT4, and anything that allows you to analyze your own particular trading. Well, I'm all in favour of that. Anything that keeps you gives you the data and the metrics to be able to improve your own trading is something that I would heartily recommend all traders take a healthy interest in.
So thanks, Paul, for kind of having me here, walk you through the different tools. I suppose the one thing I'd say is the traders who are listening to this or looking at this, please give us some feedback, which of the tools you're most interested in, and happy to run additional sessions to talk in a bit more detail what the different tools are and how you can implement them in your trading.
Absolutely, thank you for that, Malte. And as always, as we said earlier on the session, that if you're interested in, these are available to Blackwell Global clients, and they will only work on the Blackwell Global MT4. And if you have any interesting questions or challenges, then be sure to get in touch with the customer service representative, and they'll be very, very happy to help ensure that you have access to these on the MT4 platform. So with that, thank you very much, Malte, and good luck, traders, and we'll speak to you soon.